Thank you. Please, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, very much, and thank you all for being here. You know, I like these outside events as long as they're in the shade. The shade feels a lot better than being out in that sun, because I just walked the Labor Day parade in Des Moines in the sun. This feels good. This feels really good. Elizabeth sends her love to all of you. She's doing great, first of all. And I'm very proud to be with you here on Labor Day. I'm going to talk about a couple of issues, and then I'm going to spend most of my time answering your questions. The first thing I want to talk about is something the mayor mentioned just a minute ago, which is universal health care. We have a dysfunctional health care system in America. It does not work. We have 47 million people without coverage, 2 million more just in the last year. Insurance premiums are up over 100% in the last 5 or 6 years. Something's got to be done. And I'll tell you, I have a really clear view about why we don't have universal health care. I think we don't have it because of drug companies, insurance companies, and their lobbyists in Washington, D.C. That's why we don't have universal health care. And you're looking at somebody that intends to take those people on, because I think we will never get universal health care without it. Now, here's what I want to do. First, mandate by law that every man and woman in America have health care coverage. Second, fill in the cracks in the health care system, which means basically we make sure that no pre-existing conditions, that's banned, outlawed. We cover chronic care, long-term care, preventive care, dental care and vision care are covered. Mental health, parity, mental health treated the same way that we treat physical health. You can take your health care with you wherever you go. If you move, change jobs, whatever, you'll never be without health care. Everybody will have health care all the time. And then on top of that, this plan costs money. You know, I don't claim it's free. It costs $90 to $120 billion a year, but I pay for it by getting rid of Bush's tax cuts for those who make over $200,000 a year. The second issue I want to talk about is the war. Because here's my view. There's this new report that came out in the last couple of days that says this month was the second most deadly month for civilians in Iraq since the beginning of the year. The surge is not working. I know that right now. And this report's going to come out from Petraeus, you know, sometime this month, and it's completely predictable that it's going to have the White House political spin on it. Here's the question we should be asking. Is the report going to show any political progress in Iraq? Because I don't see any sign of it. And without political progress, there can be no stability in Iraq. How many American men and women are going to continue to die in Iraq waiting for the Sunni and Shia to reach some agreement? I mean, really, we've been there for years now. We're at $500 billion and counting. And my view is, in the last election, November of 2006, the American people sent a clear mandate to this Congress. And that mandate was force this president to end the war in Iraq. That's exactly what the American people said to him. So here's what I think the Congress should do. They should not submit a single funding bill to this president that doesn't have a timetable for withdrawal. And if he vetoes it, they ought to send him another one with a timetable for withdrawal. If he vetoes that, they ought to send him another one until they make him start taking troops out of Iraq. This is not about politics, it's about life and death. And it's time for the Congress to show some strength, show some backbone, and force this president to leave. This guy's bullheaded. Yes. He's not going to change anything. He's got to be made to change. And it's that important. The Congress needs to stand its ground.
That means it's too nice for him.
Say again?
That word is too nice for him.
Oh, that word is too nice for him? I'm with you, sister. You're right about that. Only an hour. Listen, I'm glad to take your questions on it. There's a lot of stuff I didn't talk about, so ask about anything you want. Just tell me your name and where you're from, if you don't mind. Who wants to start? And we got a mic so that everybody can hear you. How about right over here?
Kathy Mook, Osceola. Where do you stand on the Social Security issue? Because I feel at my age I'm going to be robbed of all that money that I've paid in.
Can you hear the question back here? Okay. Social Security, where do I stand on Social Security? Well, there are a lot of things we ought to be thinking about doing. What we shouldn't be thinking about doing is raising the retirement age or cutting anybody's benefits. Here's what I think. The one thing that we clearly need to do is today there's a cap on the amount of income that's subject to the Social Security tax. It's about $97,000. And what that means is if you make $75,000 a year, every dime of your income is taxed for Social Security. But if you work on Wall Street and you make $50 million a year, the first $97,000 is taxed and the rest of it is not. It's not. Everybody's down here saying that's not right. It's not right. So what I would do is the cap has to go away, but we might need to put a buffer zone in above the 97,000 because I don't want to raise taxes on people that are, a couple and both of them are working and are already having to pay for college and everything else. We might need to put a buffer zone in just above that, but it needs to be lifted above that, so that people who are making millions of dollars are paying Social Security taxes on those millions of dollars. That will create a revenue stream for Social Security, which I think would be very helpful. Yes, sir, right here.
What's your opinion on NAFTA, the trade agreements?
That's my opinion on NAFTA. I've been against NAFTA and against CAFTA. I think what's happened in America is we've entered into trade agreements, and the only question that's been asked is this good for the profits of big companies? Not is it good for working middle-class Americans. Not is it good for American jobs. And I can tell you, in my administration, the first question on any proposed trade deal will be, is it good for the working middle class in this country? Is it good for Americans? And we're going to have real labor and environmental standards in these trade deals, and I'm going to enforce them. And on top of that, we're going